You're watching The Community MMA.
What up, what up? This your boy Chris Cross checking in. This is The Community MMA, aka the TCMMA podcast. And I'm excited to get to this show today because all the boys are back in town. All the boys are back in town. Everybody's coming up. Everybody's fighting. All the heavyweights.
Khamzat Chimaev!
Yeah, you got Khamzat Chimaev fighting Paulo Costa. You got Leon Edwards.
Oh my God, Leon Edwards KO'd Usman!
And you got Colby Chaos Covington.
Chaos.
Yes.
Chaos.
Yes. And then today you got Islam Makhachev. And he's fighting Charles Oliveira on the same card as Hamza and Paulo Costa at UFC 294 in about 2.5 weeks. Well, he said today, hold your breath, that if he beats Oliveira, he wants a welterweight title shot. And I think that's smart for him to do. I don't know if he gets it yet because he had such a close fight with Volkanovski. But it's better to project yourself upward than it is to stay where you're at and have Volkanovski call for a rematch. Right? So the sky is the limit for him. He's looking upward. He's trying to get a fight with some of the heavyweights in the welterweight division. And that could be Leon Edwards or Colby Covington because they fight later in the year. So, and this is why I'm excited because all the boys are back in town. They're all back in town. And just looking on the due list as a reference, Khamzat Chimaev, right? Paulo Costa. John Jones is fighting. Stipe, that's not a big, he's going to wallop Stipe. But then 3 versus 5, Makhachev versus Oliveira. Looking forward to that one. And Makhachev saying he wants the winner of Colby versus Leon. Now, I don't know what's going to happen. If Colby beats Leon, he was number 4 at one point. He would still be there if he had continued fighting. But if Colby wins, he's going to jump way up there, and I'm going to be in a bind. I'm going to be in a real bind if Islam Makhachev fights Colby, because I'm probably going to have to lean towards Colby. Now, if Leon Edwards can get the win, I think Islam can compete with Leon at 170. Colby, I don't know. That will be a great fight because you got two guys who can control a fight, whether it be in the clinch or on the ground, in Colby and Islam, and that would be a great stylistic fight to see. Even though there might be a lot of control time, a lot of riding, that would be the fight to see. But I'm excited because all the boys are back in town. Even Yuri, who's not in color there at number 4, he's fighting. Alex Pereira. Everybody up here is fighting. Sean O'Malley's the new champion. Adesanya's still holding on at number 9, but he's probably finished on some level. I don't know if he'll ever get the title back, especially if Hamza gets a crack at it first. If Hamza wins it, no one's getting the middleweight title for a long, long time. I'm just telling you now.
Khamzat Chimaev!
So these are all the things going down, and it's exciting again because all the boys are back in town. Everybody in the due list, it seems like, is coming up. And the due list is just my favorite fighters, right? So all my favorite fighters, and a lot of your favorite fighters too. Some of these guys in the top 10 got to be in your top 5 to top 10 as far as favorite fighters to watch. Colby Covington, Islam Makhachev, Charles Oliveira, Khamzat Chimaev. Yuri Prochazka, they're all fighting. John Jones, everybody's fighting. Everybody is fighting. It's a great time to be a UFC fan. But if you got to pick one, I think we would have to easily say Khamzat Chimaev is the guy we really want to see fight. That's the guy that we're most looking forward to see fight. No doubt about it. Because every time he fights, all the boo birds come out. Oh, Paulo Costa's going to whoop him. And then when he beats Paulo Costa, you already know, oh, Paulo's washed up, because now he's lost 4 of the last 5 or whatever it is. He's struggling. So Hamza will not get his due. Even if he goes out there and KOs him in 1 minute or submits him in 3 minutes, he's not going to get his due. He may not even get a title shot with a win. But it doesn't matter to me. Because to me, he's already the champion. It's just a matter of how long these guys can control, like a fight, right? Hold the guy on the ground. How long can they hold Hamza down? How long can they control Hamza? That's really the question. Because if he fought for the title tomorrow against Sean Strickland, he'll dominate him. If he really got focused and went up to light heavyweight and you gave him 8 months to a year, he'll win that title too. I'm just telling you, man. I mean, you guys keep playing with it. You think I'm crazy. But watch how crazy I am when Khamzat keeps winning. He's coming for all the belts. All of them. And what I really would love to see one day is Islam, if he can keep winning, which he's kind of come down a notch since the rough fight against Volkanovski, but I don't think he's done like that. He's going to rebound. He'll probably beat Oliveira, as much as I want to see Oliveira win. But if he can ever move up a few weight classes or a weight class and Khamzat can come down, that's the fight of the century to me. Or Khamzat against Colby. I'll take that too. That's the fight, because that would be a tough fight for Khamzat to come down. And I don't know if he ever will again. He may never come down to welterweight ever again and just get 2 belts, and that's okay. Because the 2 hardest belts to get, please believe it, the 2 hardest belts are middleweight and light heavyweight. Because there's not a 10-pound difference, right? There's a 20-pound difference in there, 185 to 205, no weight class in between. So if Khamzat gets those 2 belts, he's the greatest fighter of all time to me. Who else has got the middleweight and light heavyweight in the last 10 years? Nobody, right? To my knowledge, unless I'm missing somebody. Those are the 2 hardest belts. You can get light heavyweight because you can squeeze into 205, but really get up to 230 for a heavyweight, like John Jones. And he's one of the greatest too. So it can be done. Light heavyweight to heavyweight. But middleweight to light heavyweight, that's saying something. That's a 20-pound difference. To me, that's 3 divisions. Meaning if there was a 195 in the middle like all the rest, he would have won 3 belts. So if he can get middleweight and light heavyweight, can't say nothing. And to me, that's what he's projected to do. Make no mistake about it. So Islam's calling out Charles Oliveira. And Khamzat is going to the moon in both of these divisions. That's just what I think is going to happen. Just a lot of great topics, man. We got a long time to talk about it. We still got 2.5 weeks before 294. Then, of course, a month before 295. And then the chaos, literally, the chaos is
Chaos.
going. Yeah.
Chaos.
The chaos.
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 At UFC 296 to close out the year. December is going to be ridiculous because my Dolphins play the Cowboys on Christmas Eve. Forget about it. It's going down in December, okay? It's going down. Everything is happening in December. I can't wait. But let me get past 294. Let me get Khamzat. Let me see him get a victory. And it really don't matter what happens with all the other fights after that. If Khamzat wins, I'll take that first and foremost. We'll let everything else play out, and then we'll have some good talking points as time goes on. But let's not waste no time. Let's get into the fights that are going down this week. You all want to know. Grant Dawson versus Bobby Green. Right? These are just warm-up fights for the UFC 294, but it's a huge fight to me. Because Bobby Green is a big wild card. Grant Dawson is pretty good. So I can't wait to see this fight too, man. Lightweight division, main event. Take it every week. Take it every week. The best division in the UFC. I know there's some arguments to that. We may or may not look at those in the Q&A, but stay tuned for that. Here's Grant Dawson versus Bobby Green. In the lightweight division at UFC Vegas 80, this is your main event. Grant Dawson, 20-1. Bobby Green, 30-14. Dawson, a heavy favorite. Let's see if it holds up. Both guys 5'10". Bobby Green's 37. Grant Dawson just 29. Dawson 1-inch reach advantage, 72-71. He's a switch stance fighter. Green stands right-handed. Now, advantage Green in terms of activity, 6 significant strikes to 3 for Dawson, so he doubles them up. But in takedowns, Grant Dawson lands more than 1 per round. Bobby Green just 1 on average per 3 rounds. But he does have a 74% takedown defense. That could help him here. Grant Dawson coming off wins against Ismagulov by decision. He submitted Mark O'Madsen and submitted Jared Gordon. So look for that to be in play in this fight. But Bobby Green is no slouch on the ground. He beat Tony Ferguson by arm triangle submission in round 3. But lost to Drew Dober and Islam Makhachev. So he loses only to good fighters. The problem here is Grant Dawson is a good fighter. He's 20-1. He's probably going to get outstruck on the feet. But with the takedown game in play, if he can break Bobby Green's takedown defense, the fight is over. And I think that's what's going to happen. Bobby Green is going to dominate on the ground and have about 4, 5, 6 takedowns if it does go the distance. So look for Grant Dawson to get the victory that way. It might not be a great fight, but lightweight division fights always come through. But Grant Dawson can ride Bobby Green to the finish line, which may not make the fans happy in this one, but we'll see. Either way, Grant Dawson's going to win to move to 21-1 here, lightweight division, UFC Vegas 80. And you know that I'm a Bobby Green fan. I love Bobby Green. I love it. But in keeping it real with the predictions, it's a very tough time going forward. Just like Oliveira. I want to see Oliveira win, but realistically, I got to go with Islam Makhachev. I want to see Bobby Green win, but I got to go with Grant Dawson. It's as simple as that. Because Grant Dawson is the better fighter. But I wouldn't be surprised if Bobby Green brings it and finds a way to win. This is a fight he could possibly win. But in terms of the predictions, which we've been, thankfully, really good this year, we got to lean with Grant Dawson. Now in the co-main, you got Joe Pyfer and Abdul Razak Al Hassan, another guy that I like. But can you beat Joe Pyfer? Is Joe Pyfer experienced enough? Let's answer these questions right now. In the middleweight division at UFC Vegas 80, you got Joe Pyfer coming in 11-2, taking on Abdul Razak Al Hassan, who comes in at 12-5. Now Pyfer's 4 inches taller at 6'2". He's 27. Abdul Al Hassan, 38. Pyfer, 2-inch reach advantage. Both guys stand right-handed. Both guys land about 3.5 significant strikes per minute. And the takedown game leans to Pyfer, who gets like one every other round. Al Hassan gets one every 3 rounds. So pretty close matchup here. Pyfer, 50% takedown defense. Not great, but he's 3. He's 2-0 in the UFC, 1-1 in the Contender Series. He beat Amandowski by KO and Gerald Mearshart by first-round KO, which that's surprising. Al Hassan, 52% takedown defense. Not great either. Beat Claudio Ribeiro by KO. Lost to Joaquin Buckley by split decision. And beat Alessio Di Chirico by KO. So he's 2-1 in the last 3. And I like Abdul a lot. And this card comes down to guys who I want to see win versus predictions that I'm making. And as much as I like Al Hassan, I think Joe Pyfer is the better fighter. He just is. It'll be close on the feet, but Pyfer can land some takedowns. Al Hassan's no joke down there either. But Pyfer's going to grind his way to victory in this fight, as well as other matchups here in this division. Again, where I got guys that I'm predicting against guys that I like. Joe Pyfer wins to move to 12-2 in the middleweight division at UFC Vegas 80. Yeah, man. So another one. Got to go with Joe Pyfer for the sake of the predictions. But if Al Hassan wins, I'll be excited. And, you get a lot of people say sometimes, oh, you always go with the favorites. Oh, you're always picking based off who you like, not who you think. All that is bull. It's nonsense. I'm going to give you who I think is going to win. If not, I would be telling you Bobby Green, Abdul Razak Al Hassan, Charles Oliveira, right? Now, there are some guys that I like that I believe are always going to win. Khamzat Chimaev, Yuri Prochazka, Colby Covington, unless they face each other. I just believe they're better than the competition. But in this one, Joe Pyfer is better despite the fact that I like Al Hassan. So we're going against the grain in the first 2 fights. Now, the next one will be the same, or we switch it up. Alex Morono versus one of my favorites, Joaquin Buckley. Great night of fights here coming up this weekend. Check this out. In the welterweight division at UFC Vegas 80, you got Alex Morono coming in at 23-8, taking on Joaquin Buckley, who comes in at 16-6. Morono 1 inch taller, 5'11". He's 33. Buckley 29. Buckley's got a 4-inch reach advantage. He fights left-handed. Morono stands right-handed. Now Morono is more active on the feet, 5.2 significant strikes per minute to 3.8 Buckley. But Buckley lands like a takedown every other round. So what's a takedown defense for Morono? 50%. That's going to be a problem. He did beat Tim Means by submission though. Lost to Ponzinibbio by KO. And before that, won 4 in a row. So he's 5-1 in the last 6. The guy's no joke. Buckley, 66% takedown defense. Beat Andre Fialho in his last fight by KO, but lost to Chris Curtis and Amavov by KO and decision. Before that, he won 3 in a row, including a win against Abdul Razak Al Hassan, which was a big one for him and Fialho. So it's going to be an interesting fight. Morono certainly has a chance. You can never count this guy out, but Buckley to me is the better fighter. Maybe not on the feet, but on the ground. If he gets in trouble on the feet, he can land some takedowns and control the fight. So I lean towards Joaquin Buckley, who has an advantage because he can take it where it needs to go to get the victory. He wins. Hard to tell you how. Could be KO, could be submission, could be decision. But in the end, Buckley's just better. He'll move to 17-6 in my opinion with the win. Yeah, so at the end of the day, bottom line is we like Alex Morono to get the win. So in all three fights, we're going against the fighters that we like. We're going against the fighters that we like. And it's rough, man. It's rough when you got to do that. Because I got to root against the guys I actually want to win for the sake of their predictions. And that's why some of you say, do you put money on this stuff? No. I think I did it one time in 4 years. Because because if I'm putting money down, I'm gonna lay it on Green, Al Hassan, and Buckley because I like them. I'm gonna be compromised. When I'm just doing predictions, and there's no motive, right? Money is the motive. Then I'm gonna be able to stick with my predictions the way that they should realistically be. As we jump into the Q&A, got a bunch of them. Matt Kenneth Bruner says, Chris, Aliskerov is the most underhyped guy in the UFC. This is the 4-time world Sambo champion with world-class striking. I have watched all of his fights from the beginning. Ain't nobody stopping this guy but Khamzat. Aliskerov is like a negative 800 favorite in my mind. Amavov is going to get destroyed. Aliskerov is literally a middleweight Khabib with twice the Sambo world championships and better striking. Wow. Way to break it down, Bruner. And I'm with you, man. I like Ikram. He's on the do list top 20 for a reason. He's going to climb. Shavkat's going to climb. And the future is bright for some of these guys. At the Master says, dang, imagine if you really did fight Leon Edwards back in 2020. Speaking of Khamzat, right, in the last episode. The UFC timeline would have been completely changed. God knows best. Keep the videos coming, sir. Yes, you already know. You are. I mean, we're keeping it coming because the next 3 months is going to be crazy. YB's back. He said Khamzat all day, every day. Bro, thanks for the update. Can't wait anymore. And when I say all the boys are back in town, I'm not even talking about just the fighters. I'm talking about all the people in the comment section that we've been missing because you're Khamzat fans and we haven't talked about it as much as we should, probably 2 to 6 months ago because nothing was happening. It was just all speculation. But now we got to fight. We got to fight. At Del Tursing says, lightweight skill is unreal, but there is something about light heavyweight and heavyweight. Yeah, when we were ranking the divisions, right? Lightweight always wins. But ESPN put bantamweight number 1. It's crazy. But I feel you on that. Ken Wald and some other stuff says Shavkat Rakhmonov will send Stephen Thompson straight to retirement. Yeah, I don't disbelieve that. I mean, that's possible. Shavkat is for real, but that's going to be a good fight. But Shavkat pulls it off, in my opinion. Shavkat pulls it off. Boer says it seems Paulo is taking this fight seriously, and he's already in the UAE. While Charles still hasn't traveled over there. Yeah, I mean, listen. Paulo's going to come for real, but it's not going to matter. At Bucket to Star says he can take it as serious as he wants. In response, Khamzat still beats him. And of course, Boris responds, I agree. Number 1 GOAT. Yes, sir. Straight up. So you got everyone, all the boys are back in town in terms of the comment section too. In the Q&A. We love it, man. We love it. And I'm looking forward to these fights. I can't wait for them, man. I cannot wait for these fights. So, it's coming when it comes. For now, this your boy Chris Cross. Have a great day, and God bless. Peace.